Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Pokemon Silver Nuzlocke. I am Atyrum, and today we're in Goldenrod City. We're going to go ahead and take down Team Rocket because they've taken over the radio tower. So let's go ahead and head inside. We're going to make our way up to the 5th floor, I think. And once we get all the way up there, then we got to go down into the underground, get a key from the director, and then head back up again. So yeah, you're in for a lot. There's going to be a lot of battles in this episode, so we'll be doing a lot of cuts here. And we should be having some evolutions this episode too, because I know we got a couple Pokemon that are close. Obviously, Caesar and Brussel are going to end up needing some stones to evolve, and we're going to have to figure out how to get those at some point. But for now, I know a couple of my Pokemon will evolve pretty soon. And that last guy right there had 5 Rattatas. I mean, seriously, Team Rocket, equip your grunts with better Pokemon. And then that guy had 2 Zubats. I mean, seriously? Seriously? And at least that guy had a Muck. But, I mean, actually that's one thing that really does annoy me, is just the sheer number of evil teams that seem to have Zubats. You know, I mean, Team Rocket did it. I'm pretty sure Team Magma and Team Aqua also had Zubats. Like, every single evil team has Zubats. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one thing for one team to not have much variety, but for every single evil team to have the same Pokemon, it just gets a little repetitive, you know? And I'm having a hard time keeping a conversation going because there's so many trainer battles here. It's just like, you know, one after another. I don't think we really had, you know, so many trainer battles in a row before. Anyway, so continuing up, one of those trainers did have a Wheezing, and luckily I switched into Petra in time because it used self-destruct, and that could have been bad if it hit anybody else. Speaking of Petra, with the sheer number of poison types that Team Rocket tends to have, Petra's been taking quite a beating, so we gotta heal her up real quick. Super Potions should be good. Yeah. And I know the guy at the top of the tower up here, who is kind of a boss in the remakes, but in this game he's just kind of like a regular Team Rocket grunt, I think. But he does have Coughings and Wheezings, I think, so we gotta watch out for self-destructs there. Make sure that we have Petra out. And I believe we're almost up to the top floor, so I do want to make sure Petra's in the lead, because we are going to be facing a whole bunch of Coughings and Wheezings, which potentially have self-destruct or explosion. And I don't want to take any chances. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, in the remakes, this guy is actually like a boss of Team Rocket, but in this game, like I said, I think I don't know if he's just a regular executive or he's just a regular grunt, but anyways, the real director is underground, so we'll have to go down there and get him after this battle. I guess he is an executive, and he does have 6 Pokemon, so we might as well show this on camera. Even though it's going to be basically a whole bunch of Coughings, and I'm just going to use Magnitude over and over and over again. Kind of a shame that we don't get Earthquake for a little while. I don't know if Graveler can learn Earthquake. Oh, come on, a Magnitude 4? I don't know if Graveler can learn Earthquake naturally, or if we need the TM for that, because I know the TM you don't get until all the way in Victory Road, which I guess we aren't too far away from now, but yeah, that's still a little ways off, and usually with TMs that are like certain types, like I wouldn't usually use an Earthquake TM on a ground type because usually ground types would learn their own ground type moves. I'd rather use it on something like, I don't know, something that's not a ground type that would need Earthquake possibly, like maybe Hercules or someone else if we end up changing our team up before we get to that point. I'm pretty sure this guy has at least a couple of Wheezings, otherwise I'm going to feel weird about leaving this on camera. Maybe I'll just speed through it or something like that, because right now this isn't interesting enough to really show. If this guy brings out any Wheezings, maybe I'll keep that in. There we go, there's that Wheezing, okay. I was kind of wondering if he even had one. I mean, I was pretty sure he had one. And I'm also pretty sure that in the remakes, this guy we're fighting right now is the same guy who was in the Rocket Hideout in Mahogany Town. The executive that was in the room with the Murkrow. But of course, in these games, they don't have names, because in the remakes they actually gave all the executives like names and stuff. But oh, and the Magnitude 10 missed. That stinks. But yeah, they gave all the executives names, and you actually do fight them a couple times over. So that's one thing that's kind of nice about the remakes, is that they did kind of give Team Rocket a bit more personality, I guess. Whereas in this game, they're just all nameless grunts and executives and all that kind of stuff. And I don't remember any of Team Rocket really being challenging in this game. I mean, when we get to like the boss and stuff, I know the final boss has Houndoom, but I'm not too worried about Houndoom because we do have a rock type and a water type, so I think we should be pretty okay. And yet another coughing. So maybe this guy just has 5 coughings and a wheezing, and if so, that's kind of lame. Kind of lame. Come on, Team Rocket. Like, even your executives don't have very many good Pokemon. Like, I don't know. How did they even take over, you know, Goldenrod City anyway? Like, where's Whitney? Why isn't Whitney helping out at all? You know, I mean, I think in Generation 5, I remember at one point Team Plasma shows up in... I don't remember the name of the town. The town where the Ground-type gym leader is. So Team Plasma shows up, and the Ground-type gym leader is actually out and about and, like, trying to scare them off or something like that. I feel like Generation 5 had a little bit more of the gym leaders actually doing stuff, whereas in these games you're like, okay, so where's Whitney? Like, what is she doing? Like, she's got that super tough mill tank. Like, why isn't she helping out? You know? I mean, there's got to be other strong trainers around too. I mean, like, you go north or south of Goldenrod here, and you got all sorts of trainers all over the place. You know? It's like, got to be at least a couple of them that want to give it a shot, or is everybody really that scared of Team Rocket? Like. I mean, Team Rocket really isn't that scary considering the kind of Pokemon they use, you know? I mean, nobody's really scared of a bunch of Rattatas and Coughings and Zubats and such. Anyway, so I'm going to head down to heal, and then I'll meet you guys in the underground so we can continue fighting off Team Rocket, and we also got a rival battle to do. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so here we are in the underground. I think I remember going over to this door and showing that you couldn't get through it when I came here originally. But anyways, we're heading down, and we're going to run into our rival here. Yep, here we go. I'm a little concerned about this rival fight because I know he has a Kadabra at this point, I think, and Kadabra is a really fast and powerful Psychic type, and we've got just about nothing to stop Psychic types. I'll probably send out Cordelia, or maybe Jet. Those are the only two that I think really can take a Psychic type attack. Oh, and he sends out Golbat first. I could have sworn that he sent out Sneasel first, but that might be the remix I'm thinking of. Let's see how good Caesar's defenses are. Not good enough, I don't think. We're probably going to send Petra out against this Golbat. Yeah, sorry Caesar, you're not doing very well right now. Haven't been using a Caesar a whole lot. Hoping to get a Moonstone sometime soon. But anyways, Petra has kind of been our rock, if you'll excuse the pun. But yeah, Petra can take just about anything, but except, you know, like, special attacks. So we're not going to do so well if or when our rival here sends out Kadabra, because Petra can't really take a whole lot of Psychic attacks. No potion there, okay. I don't know if the rival gets potions in this game or not. Maybe not until maybe the final battle or something like that. Alright, so next up is probably going to be either Meganium. Okay, Meganium. Alright, so who do we want to send out against Meganium? Probably Jet. Yeah, we want to send out Jet. Meganium's not really a strong offensive Pokemon. It's kind of more of a defensive. I remember I don't use Meganium very much because it's not really a Pokemon I really like that much, but yeah, I know it uses Reflect and Light Screen. I think the one time I would use it, it uses those attacks a lot. It's not really, it's more of a defensive kind of like support Pokemon, more so than an offensive Pokemon, so it shouldn't be too much of a challenge, I don't think. But of course, because of that Reflect, we're not doing very much with our Fly, but and it's trying to get poison us as well, but I'm not too concerned about poison because I think we're only going to need to use Jet for this battle right here. I don't think Jet's going to need to come in again after this unless we have some serious problems with our rival's Kadabra. And whoa! Whoa, that's a little too much. That was a little too much. Okay. Okay, we better hit this Fly. There we go. Okay, so that should knock it out now that the Reflect's gone. Yep, there we go. Awesome, sweet. I was kind of worried that we'd get hit with another Body Slam after Fly came down, and I wouldn't have a chance to actually do anything to prevent that. Here comes a Magnemite? Just a Magnemite? Come on, that's gotta be a Magneton by now. Let's send out Hercules. Don't want to. I feel like I rely on Petra a lot, and I don't want to be constantly using her and only her because she gets over leveled pretty easily. But I mean, it's just that she's been so useful. Like, out of all the Pokemon on my team, I feel like she's been the most useful. I mean, she was the one who got me through Whitney's gym. And of course, I'm not going to be able to rely on her once we get to... oh, here comes the Haunter. Not going to be able to rely on her once I get to... what am I saying here? Once I get to Blackthorn City and have to face off against Claire's Kingdra, because that Kingdra would be able to knock out Petra in one hit, because it probably has Surf or something equally concerning. But yeah, so we gotta figure out what we're doing about that Kingdra too. If I can, I might switch up my team at some point. I think the most likely to be dropped would be Caesar, because we already have Poison type and Ground type covered. I just need to find somebody else to replace him with. I feel kind of bad, because I feel like Caesar keeps getting replaced. Like, I had him on my team when I first caught him, and then he ended up getting replaced later, and now I'm talking about replacing him again. Here comes that Sneasel. So, no Kadabra. Okay. I am okay with that. I could have sworn he had a Kadabra. I'm pretty sure he does have an Alakazam by the time we fight him in Victory Road. But I could have sworn he got it a little bit earlier. Maybe that's the remix I'm thinking of. It's always kind of confusing when the remakes change things up, which, by the way, is not a bad thing. I'm really glad that they decided to change up a few things when they made the remakes of these games. Because I know when they remade Red and Blue into Fire Red and Leaf Green, they kept a lot of things the same, and it really felt like, you know, the exact same game. Like, you couldn't even catch Pokemon that were not Generation 1 Pokemon in Fire Red and Leaf Green. And you couldn't even, you know, evolve a Golbat or a Crobat, and they wanted to, you know, keep the feel of the original games. Whereas I feel like the remakes of these games actually didn't mind going off and doing their own thing a little bit more. And our rival here, who has been kind of a jerk through most of the game, is now kind of starting to realize that maybe being a jerk is not the best thing. And yeah. By the way, this is the last generation, I believe, where you actually have a rival who feels like a rival and not some friend of yours. Like, all the rivals after this are just so friendly and like, oh, I lost the battle? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Like, nobody feels like a legitimate threat after this. Like, Gary was a legitimate rival, and so was Silver in this game, but but after that, I mean, they never really felt like, I don't know, they've never really felt like a threat. They felt like, you know, just some friend of yours who you kind of battle for fun, you know. And one more trainer up here, and then we gotta mess with the switches to try and find our way through this maze of shutters, I guess they are. And a couple of these trainers actually had mucks, which I do think is pretty nice because it's not the usual whatever garbage that they tend to have. And this burglar here said he was looking for leftover loot, but he was kind of locked in that room until I let him out. I mean, there's no levers or anything in there, so I don't know what he was planning on doing, because I don't think there's any way out of that room from in there. Anyways, I think this is the order you want to do it in, maybe not. Okay, I guess I'm wrong. It has been a little while, and I'm pretty sure they changed the puzzle a little bit for the remakes as well. Yeah, but it's been quite a while since I've actually, you know, played through these games. So I think we gotta open this one back up again. I mean, I know at the very least I haven't played through the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal since the remakes came out, but I think even before that I hadn't played through the originals in quite a while. Let's try doing it in this order, maybe? Okay, that's still open. And nothing else is open over there. Okay, that's not quite right. Well, you can go ahead and grab this item real quick, I suppose, but after that, I don't think we can keep going this. No, we can't. Okay. Let's grab this item, and I think I want to go ahead and run upstairs to reset the switches. Because I'm pretty sure you have to do the first one and the third one, but that might be the remix I'm thinking of, or maybe I'm just completely lost. But let's go ahead and reset by going upstairs. Hit the first switch first. Okay, so where does that get us? That gets us to this open. Okay. Okay. And I think we just have one more burglar in there, and then we have another Team Rocket member who I think has a couple of glooms, if I remember correctly. It's probably kind of sad that I remember specifically which Pokemon certain trainers have, but back in the day I used to play through Gold, Silver, Crystal a lot. Okay, open this up, and that probably closed everything down again. Okay, yeah, that's not quite right. Okay, let's go ahead and reset it again. I feel that's probably the easiest way to do it, and I think we need to start, because of all the ways we've done it so far, I think we need to start with the middle one, because we haven't started with the middle one yet. Let's start with the middle one and see what that gets us. Okay, so that opens up this. And we can get to that trainer again. Okay, so we need to get down this way. Are there any items down? There is an item down that way, so we do want to get down there too. So let's try middle switch, first switch. I might end up cutting some of this out, by the way. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so it turns out you just had to do them in reverse order. I can't believe I didn't try that already, but anyways, so let's go ahead and put Jet in the lead, because like I said, I'm pretty sure this trainer here has 2 glooms, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for them. Okay, yeah, I was right about that, by the way. Okay, so heading through here, those doors didn't really look like doors, but anyways, I think we got maybe a couple more rocket grunts to go, and we can see the director over there. And after this, we're going to head back up the tower and face off against a couple of executives. Okay, and continuing on. I'm starting to have my doubts, actually, that we're going to have a whole bunch of evolutions this episode. I thought that we would be getting more levels than we have been getting from fighting these Team Rocket members. We may end up needing to do some grinding before we actually fight Claire, because, again, that's a gym I'm kind of worried about. And yeah, so we got one more grunt down here to face off against, and then we're gonna head back upstairs and heal, and then head back up the radio tower. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I wasn't expecting the self-destruct there. That was close. That was really close. Okay, and here's the director. Before we talk to him, we're gonna go ahead and pick up this item here. Apparently the director is not a Pokemon trainer, or else he probably would have been able to break himself free. I mean, considering that all these Team Rocket grunts have fairly crummy Pokemon. And apparently he seems surprised that the radio tower is taken over by Team Rocket. Do you realize who's guarding you? Do you realize who threw you down here? Like, okay, alright. I mean, I'm not sure what else he expected Team Rocket would be doing if they threw him down in the basement of the Goldenrod department store, which is where we are, by the way. This is underneath the department store. So let's head upstairs. I didn't actually show this area, I don't believe, because I think I came into the department store to do a little bit of shopping, but I didn't even bother coming down here because there's not a whole lot down here. There are some items you can get to at a certain point in the game. Maybe that might be, I don't know, because these guys have to move the boxes out of the way somehow. That might not happen until later in the game, though. Maybe after we come back here after the Elite Four? Oops, I think I hit the wrong button there. Okay, first floor is where we want to go. But yeah, I know that there are some items back there, and there's some way to get them. I'm just not entirely sure how that is. Anyway, so I'll meet you guys back in the radio tower on the 3rd floor, where we can go ahead and head on up and face off against a couple more boss battles. Okay, so here we are, back on the 3rd floor, and we just gotta go ahead and use the key the director gave us to open this shutter, and then we're gonna get attacked by a Team Rocket member immediately after that. Why did the shutter open? Did you have something to do with that? No. No, I didn't. Nothing to do with that. Nope, it was that other guy. The guy who went over that way. And that guy had a level 36 Golbat. I wasn't expecting levels that high. We are actually maybe getting to be a little under-leveled. But hopefully going through the ice path? Ice cave? Whatever it's called. I mean, we're going to be fighting a lot of wild Pokemon there. And we may do some grinding and pick up a new team member while we're there as well. But yeah, we do probably need to level up quite a bit before we get too much further. This next trainer that we're going to be fighting here, I believe, is kind of meant to be the same executive that we fought. The one that had the Gloom in the Mahogany base. So I think she's going to have a Vileplume now. So I want to make sure I have something good out to face off against that. And this will be another battle that we do show on camera because, again, this is... I think it's only this... Oh. Never mind then. This is just a regular grunt. I guess we're going to cut this one out. Okay, so it must be the next level up that we face off against. There's going to be an executive, like I mentioned. And yeah, I think this is the executive I was talking about. And then we have one last executive down there. What's kind of weird is that these trainers, the overworld sprites, kind of just look like regular rocket grunts. And that's kind of why I got confused. And also there's the fact that in the remakes, these two last executives are on separate floors. There's actually like big observatory platform that the final executive is up on in the remakes, and it actually looks really nice because you can see like all of Goldenrod, I think. Anyways, Arbok we don't want to take any chances with, so we're gonna send out Petra here. You know, what's nice is that playing the old school games that, you know, since abilities aren't a thing, you don't have to worry about Arbok having Intimidate and lowering your attack. Although I was switching out anyway, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered that much. But regardless, I mean, it's nice to not have to worry about some of those annoying abilities. And then, of course, you know, when you're fighting against like Geodudes and stuff, you don't have to worry about Sturdy, which I mean didn't always have the effect that it does now, where it leaves you at 1 HP. But that was an effect that it ended up gaining later on, which is really obnoxious when you're, you know, going through a cave and, you know, you find a Geodude or like a Bulldor or something like that, and you have to hit it several times, and it's like, I just want to kill this dumb wild Pokemon. It's like level 3, and I have a level 50 some water type or something like that, and I can't kill it in one hit. That seems a little ridiculous. Anyways, that should do a decent amount of Vileplume there. Acid, okay, I don't think that has very high base power. Yeah, that's not a very powerful poison type attack. I'm sure later in the game we might come up against Pokemon that have Sludge Bomb. I think that's a move in this generation. But yeah, not too worrying. Also, Vileplume's a special attacker, and I'm pretty sure at this point Poison was a physical attack. So yeah. Also, I forgot to take the experience share off Brussels, so she's getting quite a few levels. Let's get Jet out of here for that Murkrow. Do we have anything to really face off against a flying type other than Petra? Not really. Okay, Petra, I guess we're sending you out. Really just don't want to take any chances because these Pokemon are a bit higher leveled and a little bit stronger, so I don't want to, you know, risk losing anybody this episode. Nightshade, yeah, that's one thing we do have to watch out for as well, because that does a fixed amount of damage. You know, just like something like Dragon Rage would. And Dragon Rage was something that I was really worried about when we were fighting that red Gyarados. If it had kept using Dragon Rage back then, it could have, you know, wiped my whole team. So anyways, the next trainer here does have a Houndour and a Houndoom. Oops, that's the wrong button. I accidentally tried to use my fishing rod. So let's go ahead and grab our Super Potion, heal up who we need to heal up. I think just Petra needs to be healed. Yeah, because we want to make sure we're ready for that Houndour and Houndoom. But we can go ahead and send out Cordelia in the lead, see how well she does, and if we need to pull her out, we can get Petra out there. So here we go. This is the final Team Rocket member. Well, actually, no, not the final Team Rocket member in the game. The second to last Team Rocket member that we fight in the game, actually. But this is the final boss of the Team Rocket, you know, plot line in Johto here. So here we go. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about it. I feel like in Red, Blue, and Yellow, Giovanni was a lot more difficult than, you know, anybody in these games is, and that's not just because they're lower leveled. I mean, they're lower leveled because that's the same level our Pokemon are at. I mean, it's still fair in terms of levels, but I feel like they could have done more, you know. I mean, like, Giovanni didn't, you know, send out a Geodude and then a Graveler, you know. Like, these guys tend to have, you know, like, this guy's a Houndour and a Houndoom. Like, it would have been nice to have some type variety and not have, you know, a basic form and an evolution on the same team. So here comes a Coughing. Let's go ahead and send out Petra for the Coughing, just in case it tries to use Self-Destruct, because there was one back a little while ago that, back in the Underground, I switched Petra in, because I was like, oh, I'm going to get Petra some experience and try and get her to evolve this episode, maybe. And, yeah, I switched right into a Self-Destruct, which luckily left me with just enough HP to survive. Alright, there we go. Coughing goes down, and then we're going to have the Houndoom, which I'm going to send Cordelia back in for, hit it with a Surf, and that should be the end of Houndoom. Might take 2 Surfs, I'm not sure. I don't think Houndoom is really that defensive, though. Houndoom is more of a Glass Cannon type of Pokemon. It's a really cool Pokemon, though. Like, I really wish you could get Houndoom or Houndour in Johto, but for some dumb reason, you can't get a Houndour until you get to Kanto. You know, like, after you fight the Elite Four and everything. Like, that's a little ridiculous, you know? I mean, it's a new Fire and Dark type that was introduced this generation. You don't get many Fire types, you know? I mean, Fire types are not very common. So yeah, that's just kind of annoying, you know? It would be nice if you could have gotten a Houndour. I would have loved to use one in game. I think I used one in Platinum because you could actually get them there in game, but you can't in this generation, sadly. And there we go. Now we got our first Johto Pokemon of this current team. I kind of hope that I can catch something that's a Johto Pokemon that I can replace Caesar with, maybe. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens. Anyways, the director's coming up to thank us, and I think he's going to end up giving us something... Yeah, it's a Silver Wing, so if we really wanted to, we could go in and encounter Lugia in the Whirl Islands, but I don't know if I'll really worry about that. Because obviously, I mean, I guess if I used Repels and really cheesed it, I could get in and capture Lugia as my first catch, but I wouldn't want to do that, you know. Using legendaries feels kind of cheaty in a Nuzlocke. I mean, I try not to use legendaries in regular playthroughs either. I mean, other than certain Pokemon, like maybe like the trio Pokemon, because like something like an Articuno or a Moltres isn't quite as overpowered as say like a Rayquaza or something like that. You know, because Articuno and Moltres and Zapdos and like any of the trio Pokemon tend to have stats that are a little bit closer to, I mean, maybe even the final evolutions of your starter. So yeah, I don't think using them is that cheaty. I know some people are completely anti-legendary of any kind. Can we enter the lottery here? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that real quick, just for the heck of it. We haven't done it in a little while. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode, because we did have quite a bit going on. And we had a whole bunch of... Yeah, we didn't win anything there. Had a whole bunch of trainer battles, so I don't know how long this episode's been going. I might decide to go ahead and do the ice path in this video too if I end up doing the editing and find out that the video's a bit too short. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Yeah, next episode, if I don't get it in after this, then we'll be doing the ice path next episode and taking on Claire. So I might end up doing a little bit of grinding in between videos, or in between doing ice path and facing off against Claire. Just make sure we're prepared, because like I said, Claire's Kingdra is the next Pokemon that I'm really worried about facing off against. Though, of course, to be fair, I mean, the Pokemon I've worried about haven't been the ones that have been the threat. Like, I was worried about Whitney's Miltank, and it ended up not being too much of a problem. I mean, I guess we had our scares with it, but we did get through it pretty easily and didn't lose anybody. But I never thought that the Red Gyarados would be something that would be so much of a threat. I was like, it's a wild Pokemon, you know. But anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.